This story is of a different world where there are 4 nations who have their own superpowers. One of them is Airbenders, who have the power to control the air. Second is Firebenders, who can control fire anywhere. Then Waterbenders, who can control water. And finally Earthbenders, who have the power to control the earth and its soil. All of these people have to fight using their powers. For them, Avatar means a person who has the power to control air, water, fire, and earth, all the elements. It is known that Firebenders have decided to rule this world. And that's why they are killing all the other benders. Avatar Aang will stop this war, who is currently an airbender. His master trains him for airbending, but Aang still doesn't know the truth about his avatar. That's why other airbenders are getting angry at Aang's master that Aang should start his avatar training, because now firebenders were trying to enter their territory and kill them. Master also tells Aang the truth about his avatar at the right time and says that you have to complete your training soon and stop this atrocity from firebenders. Aang, who was only 12 years old, couldn't understand all these things, and he was so scared that he told his master that he doesn't want to be an avatar. All these things also turned off his mood so that he talks to his pet and flies with him to the city. While there was a fire behind him, Firebenders destroyed the entire temple of Airbenders in a short time. They also killed Aang's master along with all the Airbenders. It was only Aang who went out to the city with his pet, but he also fell into the water in a stormy stomach. Before he drowns in the water, we are shown that his avatar is awake. There was a bright light coming out of the tattoo on his head. After the scene, 100 years pass in the story, and suddenly, once the bright light comes out of the snowy mountain, the mountain bursts like a big explosion. This was the area of the Waterbenders where the waterbender named Katara was trading with her brother. Seeing this incident, both of them get scared and bring Aang to their temple. Aang's departure from here was seen by the Prince Zuko of the Firebenders, who was on a mission to find the Avatar in the world. When Aang comes to his senses in the temple of the Waterbenders, he tells everything that happened, and after getting stuck in a storm, he came to his senses in this temple. An old lady of the Waterbenders tells him that how can this happen? The attack you are talking about happened 100 years ago in this world in which all the Airbenders were killed. Their entire generation was killed. Even many Waterbenders were killed in that war. Only this Katara is the only real Waterbender left in his tribe. After talking to Aang a little more, the old lady finds out that Aang is an avatar and the last waterbender left in this world. Aang had also called his pet here. He stays here for a few days, and Waterbender becomes a good friend of Katara, with whom he had not yet come to control his powers. Aang tells him the skill of focusing while controlling his soul and emotions, with the help of which he is now able to waterbend well. Zuko comes with his uncle to the village of Waterbenders to catch Avatar Aang. When he asks the villagers to hand over Aang to him, then Katara's brother challenges Zuko to fight. Zuko was a trained firebender, while in front of him was a common man with whom he had easily lost. Before he kills the boy in front of him to end the fight, Aang comes in front of him. Aang was put in the jail of the ship. Aang here, using his airbending skills, very easily steals the keys of his prison, deceives the soldiers here, gets out of the prison, and visits Zuko's ship, where he gets the book of Zuko written on Avatar, which he steals. As soon as he flies from the ship, he comes into the sight of Zuko. Zuko was attacking Aang with fire. Before he fell into the water, Katara and her brother reached there to save Aang on his back. These people go to the temple of the Airbenders, where everything was destroyed. When Aang sees his master's bones, he is in a bad condition due to sadness and anger. In this condition, all the powers of the Avatar awakens again, which he had controlled with great difficulty while controlling his heart at this time. Katara encourages him. Aang says that because of me my world ended 100 years ago, but now I will not repeat the first mistake. I will now complete the training of the Avatar. Prince Zuko's book written on the Avatar, which he stole from the ship. Through it, he finds out that to start the training of the Avatar, he has to awaken all the powers of the previous avatars. So first they go to the temple of the Kyoshi Avatar, which was on the island, but when they go there, the people of the island attack them and catch them. That Kyoshi's statue suddenly shines on Aang. The people of the island are surprised and bring them to their leaders. This tells Aang and Aang's companions that actually they do not have any bending powers, because of which they cannot save themselves. That's why they don't let Aang and Aang's companions know about the Kyoshi Avatar and awaken their powers. Because they are avatars, they agree to help him, and at night he follows them and tells the people of the island that we have come here to catch a criminal. The next day, Aang goes back to the Kyoshi statue, and this time when the light falls on him from the statue, he suddenly reaches the world and meets the Kyoshi avatar, who tells him that the world has come to this state because of not training your first avatar, and even now if you don't train then the area of the waterbenders will be destroyed. Kyoshi showed this to Aang. She says that you have to train by being alone, leaving everyone because our poor people are our weakness and the avatar cannot be weak. Kyoshi uses her avatar powers to capture Aang's body and comes to the human world to help the people where she came to know that her people are in trouble and the firebenders attacked her earlier. Katara was fighting Zuko and she wanted to beat him up, but she couldn't do it because she herself wasn't trained. But in a short while, Kyoshi uses the bending powers to send all the firebenders soldiers away. Everyone was scared and ran away, after which Kyoshi leaves Aang's body and comes to his real state. The villagers thank Aang because they saw Aang fighting his enemies, after which Aang goes to the area of the waterbenders with his companions because Kyoshi told him that the area of the waterbenders is going to be destroyed, so he learns waterbending to save the area in the scene. After Kyoshi's defeat, Zuko meets Zuko's army, who were apologizing for not supporting him. This man says to Zuko that if you had told us about the meeting of the Avatar, we would have supported you. Zuko says to this man that you know this Zuko's father, the king of the Firebenders, has heard this news. He tells his daughter that Zuko is becoming capable. He has found the Avatar. After hearing this, Zuko's sister should have been happy, but she wasn't happy because she wanted to become the queen of the Firebenders after her father, and one of the ways was to become more capable than Zuko while flying towards the area of the waterbenders. Aang finds an airbender like him who was flying in the air. Aang immediately follows him and comes to a city where all the earthbenders lived who could control the earth, leaves, and soil. Aang gets a little sad that the child he saw flying was not an airbender, but a scientist's son, and was flying with the help. These people also meet the scientist, who tells them that the firebenders often come here and make explosions to save them. He has made a lot of inventions. He also made a lot of weapons for the king. The scientist's son says to Aang that you are an airbender. You can help us. On the other hand, the firebenders also know that a flying boy has been seen in an area of the earthbenders. The Prince Zuko of the Firebenders decides to come to the city of the Earthbenders with his uncle, and in this city, Katara finds out about a girl who is spying for the Firebenders, and when she follows her with her friend, she gets caught by her own hands. All the Firebenders attack her. She quickly defeats them with her friend. On the other hand, the Firebenders succeed in making the design of a big air balloon in any city. Aang finds out that the Firebenders do not attack with their own fire, but they use a special chemical in the city to make fire attacks and explosions, and surely someone in their city helps the Firebenders. Aang meets this girl whose name Katara knows with her. She defeated the Firebenders. The boy thought he was a good man, but when she goes out and talks to the boy again, the boy tells her his plan, that how he will take the scientist's stuff to the king and turn it into a bomb, as a result of which the king will die. Katara was not convinced that the girl she trusted could be so bad. She now goes with Aang to save the king, where Aang meets Zuko. Zuko comes to the city. When Zuko attacks Aang with his fire, the city is on fire, which Aang was trying to extinguish with his airbending skills. When the earthbenders hear about the firebenders' arrival, their soldiers come to catch the firebender, and then Zuko's uncle shows his firebending skills to all the soldiers so that all their attention does not go to the prince during this time. When the firebender's companion attacks the prince with an arrow on a box with a bomb, Katara uses her waterbending skills to extinguish the arrow and save the prince. Here, Katara's brother asks the scientist, "Why are you doing something against the prince?" To which he replies, Katara tells Aang that we have to go to the palace to save Aang, and the scientist tells them about the secret path to the palace, which goes to the jail. The scene is cut, and we are shown a past scene 100 years ago. When Aang was young, he had a very good friend, and he was an earthbender. The king of the earthbenders was Aang's 100-year-old childhood friend. Aang was old, but he recognizes Aang at a glance. Here, Katara and her brother, who were going to the jail from a secret path to save Aang, a secret tunnel comes in their way, outside of which they also met a man who told them that you can cross this path with your love. But these two brothers, who did not trust each other, when they grow up they face a monster. They hold hands and the monster becomes silent. Katara understands that it is because of their love. When she asks the way out of the monster breaks the wall and makes a way, and now we are shown Aang, who was facing the king of the Earthbenders to take revenge, he attacks Aang using all his earth-ending powers. He can hardly save himself, on which the king tells him in anger that you still think like a child, not like an avatar, and you are doing strange things with children. But Aang replies that I am not thinking anything wrong. The king leaves him happily. It is shown that Zuko's uncle was being taken to the new jail on the way. Zuko attacks the Earthbenders and gets his uncle released, and we're shown a scene from the past in which we learn about Zuko and his uncle's relationship. Zuko took care of him and punished him for coming with him, and they were together. They kill all the soldiers with their firebending skills, while on the other side we are shown that Aang and Katara have left for the waterbenders. Aang tells Katara that you have learned waterbending very well. Katara replies that I was increasing my waterbending skills with the help of my grandfather's book on the way. They see fire in the jungle. When they get down and check, there was a small village. A man tells Aang that there were some monsters here who used to make humans disappear, and then the firebenders attacked here and destroyed our area. Aang was also feeling the energy of another dimension. The scene cuts, and we are shown Zuko's sister in the city of firebenders, who was telling her dad that he should find the avatar with the help of the army general. His dad says that whatever will bring the avatar first will be the king of this place, whether you do it first or Zuko. But remember that Zuko is moving ahead very fast. The girl gets very angry. While in the scene we are shown that in the destroyed village where Aang was feeling the energy of the other dimension, Aang takes his soul and his friend's soul to the other dimension, where a strange monster comes in front of them who had killed them all and was screaming very loudly in this world. Katara's brother finds a fox who tells him that the monster you have seen is in a lot of pain. Remove it from the pain and all your problems will be solved. She wants to go to her mom, but suddenly the firebenders attack her to save her. Katara's mom hides Katara in a place, and then the firebenders burn her mom in front of her eyes and kill her. This was her childhood memories, in which she was completely lost, that suddenly a new monster comes in front of her and imprisons her in this world. Katara's brother also gets some thoughts, and her uncle is talking to each other that this boy is useless, he can't be a master. These thoughts hurt him. He also gets lost in these thoughts, and suddenly that monster who had imprisoned Katara also imprisons his brother now. Aang was also seeing his Airbenders temple in this world, but he understands in a second that this can't happen. This is not an illusion. He puts all his focus, and he sees a monster who says to him that you have come in front of me after so many years, that you have escaped from my illusion, or else I will imprison you. I have known that you are an avatar. I have fought many avatars. He asks him if he has brought anything. Aang says, no, I have come here to save my friends. As soon as he says this, a fight starts between him and the monster, but Aang, who was a soul here, was not able to handle this, so he gets lost from this monster and comes to a house where he meets his master. He hugs him and says, where did you go? I need you now. Aang asks him, how can I save my friends from this monster? Master says that this monster imprisons people with their old memories, but avatars don't get trapped in this. Last time a Fire Nation avatar gave them a good fight and stole something. If you want to save your friends, then go and get that thing. But firebenders were his enemies. Going to their area could have been dangerous for Aang, but Aang didn't have any other option, so he quickly comes back to the real world and goes to the area of firebenders. Here a man, a firebender who thought that there should be peace between all the firebenders, he agrees to help Aang and brings Aang to his avatar temple, where there were a lot of things, but Aang was not able to understand what would be the most important thing before he picks up anything. Other firebenders come here to catch Aang. Good firebender says to Aang, do your work, I will take care of them. He tries to take care of those firebenders while Aang, using his avatar powers, meets the avatar of firebenders, who tells him that I have the statue of the monster's mother. He comes back to the real world, picks up the statue, and was about to go to the monster when another monster attacks Aang. This monster was of a bounty hunter who Zuko and his uncle hired to catch the avatar. Aang comes in their custody. Aang tells them to give me some time, then I will come back to you. Zuko replies that the thought of saving others makes us weak, and this is how we are shown a past scene where Zuko's dad was making a strategy to fight in the war, according to which he will kill a lot of his own soldiers and destroy the enemy. But in this thought, Zuko had to say that we should not let our people die because of questioning his strategy. Zuko's dad tells him that you will be punished for this. The scene cuts, and we are shown that Zuko's dad sent his army in front of Zuko, who was telling him to hand over the avatar to us, or else we have orders to kill you. Zuko had to hand over the avatar to his dad's soldiers unwillingly. They take Aang to a temple, and someone comes to save him at night. Here we are shown a fight in which Aang and his soldiers fight with other soldiers and disappear. Aang sees that Zuko was the only one who could save him. He is surprised and tells Zuko that you helped me even though you Were my enemy and the book written on your avatar is also amazing. Zuko says, "Don't be crazy, I am still your enemy, and I want to capture you." Zuko attacks Aang, and both of them start fighting each other. Aang drops him down and tells him that I think you have a deep wound on your face and heart, and to know this story we are shown in the past that Zuko's dad is fighting with Zuko. Zuko beats him up, but still can't kill him, on which his dad tells him that the desire to save others. Zuko proved himself weak by beating up his dad, but before this he raised a question on his dad's strategy, and his dad punishes him in the present. Aang sends Zuko to a boat and tells him that I will meet you after saving my friends. Zuko attacks him with fire, which has no effect on Aang. We are shown in the past that Aang's dad tells him that he had to save a batch of soldiers, and now it is your punishment that you will leave this area with that batch until you find an avatar. We are shown in the new scene that Aang has returned to the burnt village and returns the lost statue to the monster. In return, the monster frees all the humans. Aang and his brother were happy to see that the villagers were happy to meet their lost people. They finally reach the waterbenders, where all the waterbenders are happy to see the avatar because they know that the firebenders are going to attack them and they will be able to win the battle. Aang uses his firebending, and his dad tells him that he is too slow, and he gets angry, and he tells his friends that he knows everything and he doesn't want to be the king. He wants his son to be the king, but I am more capable, and I will prove it in the area of the waterbenders when the big waterbenders talk to Aang. Aang tells him that he is still too young and he still needs the help of his friends, and he gets angry and tells him that he is a useless avatar who needs the help of his friends, and he should be so powerful that he can face any problem alone. Aang was very sad when he meets the firebenders, but he uses his waterbending to improve the health of the people, and Katara thinks this is wrong. Here Aang meets a new avatar to activate his powers, and this avatar tells Aang that you're making the same mistake as me. I also started helping people in the world of souls, and that's why people still don't respect me, and this is happening to you. You should leave your friends in the area of the waterbenders. Katara's brother meets a girl with white hair, and he thinks that he has met her before, and he remembers that he met this girl in the world of souls in the form of a fox who asked her to help the monster, but it was so weird that a girl is in the world of souls and in the real world, and this girl tells him that she was very sick in her childhood and she asked for help, and with the help of the moon we can do waterbending, and the moon gave me a part of her soul, because of which I am alive and can go to the world of souls from this world of humans. In the area of firebenders, Zuko's sister shows her dad her firebending skills, in which she also took out electricity from her hands, and her dad gets happy. While in the scene we are shown Zuko and Katara were moving forward to attack the area of waterbenders. They also had an air balloon in which there was a journal of firebenders. Waterbenders were also mentally ready for this war, but they did not have such a big army that they could face the firebenders. Then Katara advises them that women should also take part in this war to prove her point. She fights with the chief here with her good waterbending skills, and she proves that women can also take part in this war. Here the attack happens. Aang, Katara, and everyone starts to stop this attack, but Zuko's uncle tells his journal that today is full moon. Waterbenders get their strength from the moon, that's why today they can't lose to you. And then the journal tells Zuko's uncle that my plan is not to defeat them, but my plan is something else. I know that such a moon comes once a year, and the day the moon is round and shiny like this, that day the soul of the moon and the soul of the sea meet at the back of the waterfall. He says that I will kill both the souls. Zuko's uncle tells the journal that this is a very wrong idea. By doing this, there can be a huge loss in the world of souls, and in this world there can be destruction, but the journal says that I don't care about this. He now goes to the lake to find the soul of the moon, while on the other side he has come here to catch the soul of the moon, with which Katara is now fighting, and this time Katara with her waterbending skill has captured Zuko at the same time. The journal starts killing the soul of the moon. Zuko's uncle tells him that the power of the soul of the moon is more than an avatar, you won't be able to kill it, but the journal catches the soul of the moon to kill the waterbenders. Zuko kills the waterbenders with his magical dagger, and thus the moon turns black. The power of the waterbenders also ends the power of the firebenders, and they start attacking and destroying their area, and the temple of the waterbenders also breaks. This is exactly the same scene that Kyoshi showed in Aang's VN. Aang wanted to save the people here, but then Kyoshi's words, Aang should stop worrying about the people and should focus on himself and should fill his powers. As soon as he thinks this, he goes in the middle of the sea and gives his soul to the sea. The soul of An avatar and the sea together becomes a huge monster, after which he starts destroying all the ships of the firebenders. Zuko sees this and moves forward to fight him, and seeing Zuko alive, the journal of the firebenders comes to an end because he killed Zuko. They both stop fighting the avatar and start fighting each other. Zuko beats him a lot, and when he defeats him, the man asks Zuko, "What do you think if you take this avatar? Will your dad make you a king?" "No, he is making you a fool. He keeps you ahead and makes your sister stronger, because of which she is becoming the real king. And why am I your enemy? Because this is also your dad's order." After the scene, we are shown the girl who is alive because of the soul of the moon, whom we saw in the box in the world of souls. She was still talking to Katara's brother. She tells Katara's brother that once the moon gave me a piece of her soul and made me alive, and today the moon needs me. As soon as she says this, she gives her soul to the sea and the moon, and once again the moon comes back to life and shines in the sky. Despite everything being fine, Aang was still in the form of a monster. He was still angry because of the destruction of this area of the waterbender. When Katara tells him, "Aang, you are very good. You are with us. We are your family. Don't waste yourself. The people here need you." After hearing all this, Aang's anger cools down, and he comes out of the water in the form of a very powerful avatar. But even when he came out, he was sad. He felt that all the destruction here happened because of him, but his companions tell him that he did not destroy it, but the firebenders did. He has saved the lives of many people here from great danger. Aang says that now I will just forget the old things and focus on my journey ahead, in which Katara was going to help him teach water and airbending. Cut to the scene, we see Zuko and his uncle, who still did not know what to do because they had been deceived by their own father and brother. On the other hand, Zuko's dad, who gets the news that despite destroying many areas of the waterbenders have lost to them, they are not surprised to hear this news and tell their people that this was just their trick. They never wanted to destroy the area of the waterbenders. They just wanted the avatars to start saving the area of the waterbenders, whereas from behind, they had captured the area of the earthbenders. That too through their daughter. Here their people ask him. Zuko's dad says nothing. Sometimes we have to sacrifice such weak people for big things. Zuko's sister was very happy after capturing the area of the earthbenders, and at the end of the story we see Zuko's dad telling his companions that now a fireball is going to pass over the earth, because of which their powers will increase even more, and this season drama story ends here.